Hello everyone, in this video I'll be showing you the most overpowered build for Vex in Borderlands 4 to take on Ultimate Vault Hunter 6, Bloomreaper the Invincible, and pretty much all the endgame content and future content too, because yeah, this build's nuts with the amount of infinite crits that you can get. And you see there, you can clear the first phase of this fight very quickly because we're using a setup that's going to get infinite amount of crits for Vex here, and that just means that we're able to output massive amounts of damage. We are going to be using the bot into the second phase because that's really just one of the best techniques here to get the maximum amount of damage off, as yeah, the Torgue stickies are just really good. But as far as it goes for Bloomreaper here, we're going to want to use the witchy trigger finger as well, because whenever we do that, we can spam the Eldritch Blast here, and then yeah, you basically are going to be able to delete this boss as quickly as possible, because then you can get the bot to do its crazy thing there where it stacks up the critical hits and then takes out the entire health bar in one go. So yeah, you can see there the health bar is melting really quickly on Bloomreaper. Now this is using a Quicksilver enhancement here, although I've done it without this. It's not fully necessary, but you get infinite amounts of critical hits when you're overheating on the gun. And with the Golden God there, which lets it shoot continuously when overheating, you can see we got a pretty crazy combination for damage. Now we also can use things like the High Caliber here to make sure that this is piercing, because the crystals are lined up in a straight line. So this will be really good because whenever you have a Jacob's License weapon that goes through multiple targets here, they're both going to be ricocheting around. So you can actually use the Jacob's Enhancement as well. And we'll be speccing mostly into the green skill tree. We can get more kill stacks here for 120% bonus gun damage. And when we get critical hits, we can actually activate our kill skills, which also activates our Repkit cooldown, which Specialization now with caffeine lets us get our action skill back immediately. And my favorite part about this is at level 1, this is honestly quite strong. Now, Eldritch Blasts are just great. We'll first take Grave Sights here, which is a kill skill. Again, we got max 3 stack, which turns to 6. Increased gun or critical hit damage, because we're getting infinite crits, that's great. But also gun handling, meaning you can shoot your shotgun at long range, and this really enhances the bod. Now at this point, Grave Implements is nice, but you could take a few points in Bloodletter, as Bleed still does apply, and this is great for mobbing. But I just think Grave Implements is so good. 20% gun damage on kill, 3 stacks for 60% damage, and then 120 later when we can take the Grave Power, which I honestly recommend taking this one next. This means that we're getting a crazy amount of gun damage because we can stack this up infinitely. Or I guess till 6. And we also like to take the Target Prescience here, because with this, your gun damage now has critical hit chance. I would only recommend taking this if you're not going to be using the enhancement for the Quicksilver one. Otherwise, you can go with Bloodletter, because Bleed is really nice. And at this point, I'd like to actually come down here, as we can go ahead with Drink Full. The gun, whenever we deal gun damage, we get increased fire rate. This is great just for every gun, because we're also going to be using our Enhancement Witchy Trigger Finger here. So Eldritch Blasts are now going to give us our ammunition back, which means when our fire rate is high, we just continually keep pouring out bullets, our DPS flies through the roof. This takes us down to Mortal Terror here, which we can activate our kill skills when critically hitting enemies. And again, we get infinite crits, so we can get our 6 stacks up really easily. This takes us to the Capstone as well. Vibe Check is really good because this turns Eldritch Blast into a charge skill, which has 3 charges, and this will ricochet. For some reason, this is very good at destroying the crystals, just because it is large in size, but also it ricochets around. And the cooldown reduction from gun damage is doubled. So when we're spamming away with our weapon, we actually get the Vibe Check Eldritch Blast back near immediately. I also really like the Heart Piercer here, but I found that the Vibe Check just ends up being a lot higher damage. Now, once we get down here, I like to come back and take 1 point of Guns and Needles, since we just got the Mortal Terror, which will activate kill skills. This activates here, and we'll get critical hits giving us back our Repkit. You could pick a few more points into this, but 1 is honestly what I found to be the most optimal for Bloomreaper, because you're going to get your Repkits back just in the time that you need them. This can take us down here. You could take the Grave Vitality for a bit more health. I don't think that's a good choice. I think the Ars Arcana here, because skill damage is our Eldritch Blast, but it's also our Bleed and anything else. Like if we were to take potentially Bloodshot, which we're not, it would benefit that as well. We can also then take the Essence Leech here, which gives us Lifesteal, which is really strong, because then we can take the Lifesteal Blood is Power to turn that Lifesteal bonus into bonus kinetic damage. Bonus damage takes those gun benefits that we get from Grave Implements, and it takes those percentages and adds bonus damage on top of it, meaning we're doing pretty good damage at this point. You can put on Heart Pierce if you prefer. I found that Vibe Check was better for Bloomreaper, but I prefer Heart Pierce in many other situations. We then have 5 or 10 points left. What we could do is when we have our Eldritch Blast active, Enchantment gives us further bonus kinetic damage, which is really nice. This is actually quite a bit jump, because that gives us 37.5% bonus damage. Again, that's a lot of extra bonus damage. And then we can then take Conjunction here, which gives us an even further gun damage the more full our health is. However, I think that bleed is a little bit better, so this could be a good choice, as you can put your points into bleed here, as this is just good for a lot of situations, but bleed is really, really strong. And you can use some sniper rifles to further enhance that. You could also take points into conjunction, though, because this is a good choice, and then even full moon, if you got down here, yeah, you could go with something like that. The final 2 points into guns and needles will give you your rep kit back quicker, but again, as mentioned, you get your rep kit back quick enough that I think the best utilization here is to put it into conjunction. And as mentioned, now with caffeine specialization, we'll give you your action skill back, which is kind of necessary for Bloomreaper because between phases when he's just coughing up, you want to be able to get that back so you can use your abilities. Really, this is also very powerful for the bonus 50% gun damage, which we can then take and add to our action skill with I Am a Gun, so our Eldritch Blast get a big boost to their damage, and they'll take the gun damage boost that we get from our kill skills too, which is great. And then adding critical hit damage and chance on top of that, it just makes our Eldritch Blast a little bit more potent and gives it an RNG factor. As we get into our class mods, my personal preference here is to go with the Teen Witch. 10% lifesteal is great. I have shotgun damage here, which ends up being really good because I mostly use the bot and the Golden God there. That was optimal. The 10% lifesteal is great as well. And the skill rolls, ideally you'll get points into Grave Thirst. This gives you lifesteal. And again, lifesteal then applies extra bonus kinetic damage. So this can be really good. This also gives us some points into our conjunction here, which is a good one to go with. And it also gives us the corporeal here, which will give us overshield. And again, that works well with this class mod, so all three of those rolls are best. I like the Mortal Terror the best. Our shield, Watts for dinner, just the best shield in the game, unfortunately. 25% bonus shock damage is really nice. The Timekeeper's New Shield could be a good choice as well, as it gives you extra health, and that's always a nice thing. The Protean Cell will give you even further shock damage, but it's a bit more risky. And when you're mobbing, Fireworks is a great choice, but I like this one here just because if you can get the Amp, which gives you 35% of your shields for 150% bonus gun or extra gun damage, we get Lifesteal to give our shields back. This means we can constantly keep cycling out a ton of damage, and it's very strong. Now, the Enhancement, as mentioned, this is a very important one, but it's not necessary. It just makes your critical hits happen a lot more commonly. Because when you're overheated and you get to 20%, I don't have great rolls in this either. Pretty much everything about this else sucks, but it just sets the build up in a nice way. Alternatively, you could add on the Jacob's Bounce Pass, which will give them increased ricochets. This is great because the Golden God is a weapon that can use that. And I also like to take the Darkbeast here, because the Darkbeast is really good too, especially because it can get Jacobs and a shotgun in a barrel, which is very rare to find, but works really good too. The last one that I want to recommend is that you can go with the Gatherer here. Daedalus licensed accessories will give a 50% fire rate increase, which is nuts when you consider that the Bod and the Darkbeast are both this. So that can be pretty nice as well. Now for our grenades, honestly, you can go with like a heavy ordnance. Those are going to be good because they take our gun damage increases and apply them basically like a good amount. If you have a certain specialization, you can apply them 1.5 times total. Slippy grenade is good for the healing. Even the waterfall, and I like the I don't have it here, but the disc jockey's fun as well. Even the heavy ordnances are really good. And finally, we got the triple bypass Repkit here. This is great because I've leech on this, which is nice, further giving us life steal. We stay alive infinitely, basically, with this. And the high caliber on this is good too. I guess for the firmware, high caliber is so good on this build because we can get the piercing on the Golden God, and that's going to really enhance the amount of damage because they will pierce through and ricochet off both the crystals. It's actually crazy. You don't need to use high caliber though. You could go with the Deadeye because this will give you even further increased critical hit damage. And again, we got a lot of critical hits, which give us a lot of damage. And yeah, it'd be 3 high caliber, 2 Deadeye, or 3 Deadeye, 2 high caliber. And as for weapons, now as mentioned, Golden God is fantastic here because when this overheats, you're going to be continually keep damaging enemies and not consuming ammo and getting critical hits. And it's a Jacob's License accessory, and it's a ripper for even further damage. This is pretty nuts. You can get this one with elements too, but yeah, that is strong. The bot is honestly the best gun in the game, so no sense, not lying here. We're using this one for the second phase. If you want that platinum time, I had some people actually unsubscribe from my channel for using the bot, but unfortunately, this Chaosin or Queen's Rest are the 3 best for deleting huge health bars quickly. If you're doing a timed mission, you kind of have to use one of these weapons to make it a lot easier without having to do anything like cheesy, like the underbarrels and other stuff. This just works well, and it's really strong. And again, Darkbeast is good too because this will naturally pierce, so you don't even have to take the high caliber. You can go 3 Deadeye. These will naturally pierce and explode. These shred through the first phase quickly. I just found that the Golden God was actually a little bit faster than the Darkbeast, but both are fantastic. I also like the Stray here. You don't have to aim with the Stray. It's just going to automatically aim for you, and yeah, it's strong. You can still aim it, but yeah, it's good. The Convergence is another shotgun that's pretty solid. I've seen some people having a lot of success with it. I don't have as much success with it, but it's still a good one. The Rooker sniper rifle is also quite strong. This came from the latest, or second previous update. And I do have a build on the Mantra if you want to check out a full melee Vex. It actually shreds through this pretty good. And yeah, you can see here, our damage is absolutely crazy. We're taking this boss down very fast, and this is an Ultimate Vault Hunter 6, so yeah, it shreds through basically all the base game bosses. And then with the Golden God here, this one is, I find, a little bit better in like a mobbing situation. And if you can line up the shots too, it's just crazy because they ricochet and they chain around like that. And it gets even further crazy when you get those crits going whenever it's full of ammo, or whenever you deplete the ammo there and get it overheating. But yeah, pretty nuts setup in Borderlands 4. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Hit the subscribe button below if you enjoyed, and I hope you guys all have a great day. We'll catch you in the next one.